You've probably heard of brisket burnt ends, but today I bring you pork belly burnt ends. We're taking everything good about traditional burnt ends and everything good about bacon and combining them together. The end result? Delicious, tender little meat bites. They're smoky, meaty, and glazed in barbecue sauce. Stick around and I'll show you how to make these. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick and we're indeed smoking up pork belly burnt ends. I am really excited. This is gonna be absolutely phenomenal. If you guys have never tried this or you wanna see how I make them, make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you see how they turn out. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm currently putting out 2 videos a week every Tuesday and Thursday. So with all that being said, we are gonna start the video. We're gonna cut up our pork belly burnt ends. So for you guys that have never seen pork belly, this is what it is. If you could tell what this is bacon. And this is what bacon is made from. This is the pork belly, the belly of the pig. And it's usually just cut into little strips like this and served as bacon. Or you could buy it in a whole slab like this and cube it up and make pork belly burnt ends. All right, so our first step is to cut these up into nice little cubes and cut them up into about 1.5, 1 inch thick. Don't need to be super particular, but I just want to cut it into strips. So we're going to set that off to the side and we're just going to continue to cut along this pork belly, cutting into big or small strips. It doesn't really matter if they're not the same size. Rule of thumb, you probably want it to be around 1 inch or 1.5 inches thick. So after you got them cut up, now you're just going to want to take and come along this way and just kind of make like 1 to 2 inches. I don't know. I made these a little big, probably bigger than what most people would do, but I'm a big guy. I like big food. So as you guys can see, these are the cubes that I'm making. It has nice little pieces of meat with good marbling. One side is a meat side, one side is a fat side. This is how they should look when they're done. All right, so now we're just gonna repeat this process until it is all done. I'll see you guys soon. Now that we have all of our pork belly cubed up, it's time to get some seasoning on them. And for today's seasoning, I decided to do something special. Oh my gosh. So for today's seasoning, I'm gonna do something special. I'm going with a rub that is meant for pork, but it also has a little bit of a kick to it. It has some cumin, it has some cayenne. So I want these to get a little bit of heat on them because we're gonna be using a lot of sweet stuff when we sauce them, smother them, and cover them with all the stuff we're gonna be doing later. Let's go ahead and season up our cubes. All right, guys, so there's no easy way to do this other than to just make a big, huge mess because you're gonna have to season up all of these cubes. This one might make your spouse angry when you make it, but then they'll be happy after they eat it because of how good it is. But their kitchen is gonna be pretty trashed. We're just gonna get this seasoned really good, then we're gonna flip them over. So I decided this would be a better idea. I'm gonna put it on here and I'm just gonna season it all up. You guys will see what I'm doing. It's okay to make mistakes. Now I'm just gonna take and I'm just gonna kind of rub this all around. I just think this is gonna be easier. Just kind of mix these all around until everything's coated real nice and good. I feel like it's just easier to do it this way than it is to flip each one over each time and coat it. And it's just getting to be a big mess, really difficult. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it this way. Throw my seasoning on there. If you mix all these together, like even if you were to put these in a big bowl or something like that and just season it in a bowl and toss them around, mix them all together, they're gonna get seasoned up really nice and good. We want there to be a nice crust outer layer on these. They're getting really seasoned up on all sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stir these around a little bit. I'm gonna repeat this one more time and then I have another tray to do and then we'll be back. All right, so now we're gonna be taking these and setting them right on our rack. And the reason why we're putting them on here, just because it's going to be really easy to get them on and off. We just want to make sure that there's good space in between each one of these. And this is going to make our lives a lot easier when we get these on and off the smoker, because when you're out at the smoker, there's obviously smoke coming out of it. You don't have time to sit here and pull off 100 little cubes, especially when they get hot. I mean, it's just going to be near impossible. So we're going to need to tighten these up a little bit to fit some extras on here. But as long as there's a little gap on each side, that's really all that you need. You just want the smoke to be able to flow through. They just shouldn't be touching. If they're touching, there's going to be no smoke that gets to it on that side. Just keep that as a rule of thumb when you guys are doing this at home. And obviously, as you guys can see how I'm doing this, none of these are perfect. They're not all the same size. I'm not in a competition. I am just a fat guy that wants to make really good food, and that's what I'm here to do today. And I think I'm going to do that for you. I hope you stick around and watch this all the way to the end to when I eat these. And as you guys guys can see, some of these are fat side up, some of these are meat side up. And really, quite honestly, that's just because I don't care. There's so many theories on barbecue. You want to have the fat side on the bottom because that's going to be like a protective layer, you know, so that the meat doesn't dry out. And some people are like, no, you want to put the fat on top because then the fat's going to render down and it's going to drizzle all over them. I really don't care. I think they're probably both right. There's probably a pro and a con to doing it both ways. Like I said, I'm not here in a competition. I'm not a scientist. I am just a dude that likes to cook food. So put them on however you want to put them on. I really don't care. These are going to be delicious. I'm going to season up and coat up my other rack, and then I'll see you guys out of my smoker. All right, guys, so we're out here at my Pit Boss Austin XL. We're running at 200 degrees using hickory pellets. Today, we're going to smoke the pork belly at 200 degrees for about 3 to 3.5 hours. So I'm going to get these loaded on here, and we'll be ready to go. See, these racks make it super nice and easy. So now all I have to do is just set that on there. So now these are just going to sit in here and smoke, and maybe I'll rotate them halfway through, like an hour and 45 minutes. Maybe I'll put this one on this side, because I know one side might be a little bit hotter than the other side of the smoker sometimes. Just depends on how they're built and, you know, all the different things like that. So I'm gonna get this shut down. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, so we're 1 hour and 45 minutes into our smoke. Let's open this up and see what we're looking like. So as you guys can see, these are starting to look like some really sweet meat candy. I'm getting super excited. I'm actually gonna go ahead and spray these down and switch out the racks. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a little spritz here. Just get a little bit of moisture on. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy. And in this, I have apple cider vinegar. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move this now. Just because, you know, if one side's cooking hotter than the other, I just wanna make sure that they're all getting an even cook. So nothing too crazy. I'm just gonna take this rack, slide it over to here. Oh, guys, I wish you could smell what I smell right now. Oh my gosh, dude. This is starting to smell super, super good. At this point, let's get it shut down and keep smoking for another hour and 45 minutes. Hey guys, our pork belly burnt ends have been on for a total of 3.5 hours. Let's open these up and see what they look like. All right, as you guys can see, these look absolutely amazing. They've collected a nice bit of smoke. They're looking real nice and bacony. Time to get them in some brown sugar and honey. So I'll see you guys inside. All right, so we're inside now. We're on to the next phase in making these pork belly burnt ends. So we have both of our racks inside. What we're gonna do now is we're just gonna grab one of these pans and we're just gonna do one pan per side. We're just gonna load all these up and then I'll show you what we do next. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our honey. We're just gonna open it up. So I have no real recipe for this. I just drizzle until the bacon tells me that it's happy. And the pork belly tells me that it's happy and having a good day is when I stop. And that looks about good to me. Right now I'm just gonna take one nice big handful of this brown sugar and I'm just gonna sprinkle it all along the top of these bad boys. And I'm thinking it needs about another little small handful. Yeah, look at that. That looks good to me. All right, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of flip these around a little bit, just so that way, you know, everything gets coated up a little bit. I'm not going super crazy on this. Just kind of wanna toss these bad boys around. And then this is gonna steam in this pan, and it's gonna cook down until it's at 205 degrees. And then one last thing before we go back out to our smoker, we're just gonna get some tin foil and cover up our pan. Go ahead, you wanna make sure you get this nice and sealed. So that way we get nice little steam action in here and we bring it up to our right internal temperature. Okay, so now we're back out at our smoker. We have our tins right here already made up. The first thing we're gonna do though is we're gonna turn it up to 250 degrees. All right, so we're gonna open up our pit now and we're just gonna slide these bad boys right here in the back. So go ahead and get one back there like that. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll put them like this. Put one right here, and one right here. So the reason why we smoked them at 200 degrees for a total of 3.5 hours was just to get some really good smoke in there. We wanted our rub to really set on our pork belly bites, just like when you make ribs or a pork butt or a brisket. You don't really want to wrap them until you could thread your finger on there and the rub won't come off. And now we have some brown sugar and some honey on there wrapped up in foil. It's gonna get a little bit of steam action in there. It'll become really moist in that pan. And we want our pork belly burnt ends to get up to a total of about 200 to 205 degrees. So at the 30-minute mark, you'll see me rotate them. 1 hour, we'll check the internal temp, see how much longer we have. I'll see you guys soon. All right, so we're just gonna take and move these pans now, and they are hot, so just play like Tetris with them until you can slide them around. Don't burn your hands like I am, because they're freaking hot. And just get them like that. Oh, maybe even give them a spin too. Just want to make sure that they're cooking nice and even throughout. So let's go ahead and get it shut down. Now that your fingertips are blistering, go run them underneath cold water like I'm about to do, and we'll see you in 30 minutes to check the internal temperatures. We are officially at the 1 hour mark of our pork belly burnt ends being wrapped in our foil. So now let's open it up and see what it looks like. So the goal here is to get these to be probe tender, and we have reached probe tender in our big pieces. Wow, this feels so, I wish you guys could feel this. Yeah, these are done at the 1 hour mark. These just go right in and out. I mean, this is, wow. Let's go inside and we'll do the next step. We are inside. It is now time to get a good glaze on our pork belly burnt ends. To make our glaze, we're going to be using 1 cup of this barbecue sauce. To the 1 cup of barbecue sauce, we're adding in a 1/4 cup of apple juice. Now we're just going to stir these two together until it makes a nice, very thin and runny texture. All right, and for this, we want to get a new container, and we want to take out all of our pork belly burnt ends, cross them over into a new one. The reason why I like to do this is just to get all that liquid that's in there out. We really want to focus on just making sure that we're just getting the burnt ends in here. Oh yeah, the liquid has already served its purpose. It's helped really tenderize this meat. Now we're here to get a glaze. These look really, really nice. Wow, some of that brown sugar is really darkening up these burnt ends. Look at that, brown sugar really did a number on there. Wow, this looks so good. Now we're just gonna take and apply this over the top of it, and the goal here is to not use too much. And you don't want this to be a huge pool of liquid at the bottom. The goal here is to get just enough in the pan that when you go to toss them like this, each side gets coated in just a little bit of sauce. You don't want there to be a big pool in the bottom of a bunch of sauce. That's not the purpose here. Now these are all looking sauced up really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spread these out now. So as you guys can see, these are glazed up really, really beautifully. We're gonna get them back out on the smoker at 250 degrees for a total of 30 minutes, and we're not gonna be putting on foil this time. So let's take these outside and put them back on our smoker. After the 30 minutes is up, get your pork belly burnt ends off of the smoker and bring them inside. Well guys, we are back inside now. We have our pork belly burnt ends off of the smoker. They're all glazed up in a beautiful mound. These pork belly burnt ends are everything that you could ever ask for. I mean, it's like literal bacon cubes smoked and glazed in beautiful sauce, topped with brown sugar and honey. It's sweet, it has a little kick. It is literally just perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite, but before I do, I just wanna do a quick recap of what it was that we did today. So this recipe really comes in 3 stages, and in the first stage, we cubed these bad boys up, we got some seasoning on them, and then we smoked them at 200 degrees for 3.5 hours using hickory pellets. Then in the second phase, we came back inside, we got them in our pan, we coated them with, about a good couple handfuls of brown sugar and just however much honey you feel like putting on. Then we covered it with aluminum foil, put it on our smoker at 250 degrees for a total of 1 hour. Then we came back inside, moved our pork belly burnt ends into new pans, glazed them up with 1 cup of barbecue sauce and a 1/4 cup of our apple juice, mixed that together, glazed them up real nice, put them back on the smoker for another 30 minutes at 250 degrees, still using hickory pellets. Then we came inside, took some awesome pictures, and here we are, ready to eat. So now we have these succulent, beautiful little bacon bombs, whatever you want to call them. I don't even know. I'm ready to take a bite. I'm gonna shut up. Let's go. Shut up. If you're watching this video, stop what you're doing. Call your butcher. Well, first watch the rest of the video. Call your butcher, find a store where you can find a slab of pork belly. Do exactly what I did in this video and make these, then eat these. I want you to experience what I just experienced, but the fat just melts in your mouth. So juicy. When I took that bite, I want you to imagine if you bit into like the Niagara Falls. Like you take a bite and out comes just like a gushing flood of juice that just fills your whole mouth. And it tastes like bacon with hickory smoke in it. I think the hickory smoke was great. I see a lot of guys use cherry. I thought the hickory was awesome because it already has so much sweet in it You really need to learn how to blend all of your flavors together. I think maybe even using a normal barbecue sauce would have been just fine. I used honey barbecue sauce. I will say these are on the sweeter end. We put on brown sugar, we put on honey, and we also put on a sweet barbecue sauce, including with apple juice, which also has a lot of sugars. Even though our rub had a little bit of a kick to it, I really think that I could have just did a normal barbecue sauce on these. So to make this video in the future, I might even try to make this a little bit spicy. Play off like a little sweet and spicy and see how that tastes. But hickory on here was great. I have this little guy right here. It's when calling my name. It just looks perfect and beautiful. Oh my gosh, dude. So juicy, dude. It is so chewy. It is so tender. It's like eating Gushers. Like you take a bite and just squirts out juice. I know I already said this. It fills your mouth. Look, guys, you need to make this. Please do. And when you do, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know how it turned out. If you're subscribed to the channel, I just want to say a huge thank you. I love making these videos for you guys. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. We're posting a new video every Tuesday and Thursday. And if enough of you subscribe and I start earning revenue from this channel, I'll just quit my job and I'll make a new video every day of the week. I don't care, dude. That's what I want to do. I just want to smoke things, all different kinds of things, all day. And no, not like smoking drugs or anything, smoking meats. I'm like a smoke addict. Like this video, share it with your friends. I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever time it is when you find this video. And as always, I'll see you guys in my next video.